God damn, my eyes look red. No wonder why I always wear a damn hat. See if anybody filters in here. Probably not. Everybody else is on other channels tonight. It's alright. I'll sit here and pontificate, and I'll take and just release it later, and people can figure out what the hell's going on from there. Let's see here. Oh God, I look awful. What's up, East Wind? I'm gonna take and do a live review of this session sour from Wicked Weed. It's watermelon dragon fruit burst session sour with a 4.5% ABV. And thanks to my newfound proclivity for Twitter, I heard about the shit that happened in Texas, and it just fucking breaks your heart, dude. Like, for real. Motherfuckers just, they ain't got no goddamn sense in their head. Simple as that. Smells wonderful. Like, might help if I had my microphone a little bit. Yeah, it just smells fruity. It smells a little bit sour. That's damn good. That tastes almost like drinking a Starburst, like a slightly sour Starburst, like a fruity pebble that's gone bad. No, not quite, Yoda. Appreciate you joining tonight too, buddy. No, it tastes like a slightly sour Starburst, and it's very refreshing. Like this shit right here is fantastic. Yoda, you ought to take and run yourself down to the. You're old enough now, aren't you, Yoda? Running down to the Publix there in Goose Creek. I do too. Jesus Christ. That last citrus IPA that I took and did a video on, the Tropicana, was like that. I mean, it was like you smelled it. And it was like I took and did the video. It was like, oh, I just smelled fucking. I mean, it smelled amazing. And then you drink it. It was like, where'd the flavor that smelled like it was going to be in the aroma, where'd it go? Because it was very flat. I hate when that shit happens. This right here, though, smells good. And damn if it don't taste good. I'm going to give this a solid. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. This is damn good. I could drink this all day long. Even the finish on it. Here, try this real quick. My wife's back there. She didn't really drink beer all that much, but this is Watermelon Dragon Fruit Burst. It's a session sour by Wicked Weed Brewing. I've seen it. I had to take and go to a grocery store about 25 minutes from here. Alex, what's up, buddy? I know I didn't do this with StreamYard. I'd invite you in. This is just so I could do the review and pontificate a little bit and sound a little bit smart. But yeah. Yes, I use pontificate, so it sounds like I know a lot of big words. You know, make it sound.
Is that fancy paid for education?
Yes. Paid for a high school education, not college. Haven't done that yet. Yeah, still low on that. But yeah, that. And I was on Twitter, and I happened to see in the trending on the side where it was talking about El Paso, Texas, and I was like, why is that trending #1? So I clicked on it. Man, that shit like that it breaks your heart. Is not only did it happen, not only did they start shooting in the Walmart, they took and made it to the mall, and Big words plus accent equals broader audience. But who'd have thunk it, Jacob? Yeah, dialect. That goes a long way sometimes. Um, but I was taking it going through and reading the articles that I could click on Twitter, and I was just like, you know, what's the cause of this? And of course, everybody's first thing is white supremacist. White supremacist. Well, you get to digging a little bit. I took and found the guy's manifesto, and yeah, technically it would fall under white supremacy, but it was kind of weird. I mean, because his manifesto went into not only there you go, PhD, plain high school diploma. That's all I got at the moment. I'm still trying to work my way through college. But yeah, his manifesto, he said he was going to do the shooting because there was too many illegals in the country, and he didn't specifically blame them. He blamed both the Democrats and the Republicans that are backed by corporate interest, because due to their need to take and constantly make money, they were pushing for the cheaper labor that the illegal immigrants took and that they take and provide a lot of times. And he took and put that on them and took and blamed the dropping water table, lack of clean, or the diminishing supply of clean water due to farming and fracking and oil drilling in the U.S., plus the upcoming automation where they're expecting 50% of American jobs to no longer exist in 20 years, and his belief that people that were here illegally are only going to take and exacerbate that if they're allowed to take and stay. He didn't see them as the complete problem, but the underlying issue. So, and this man took and drove 650 miles to accomplish this. He didn't take and live in El Paso. Bo, I'm gonna tell you, he took and pointed to the Christchurch shooter and said he agreed with him. And the Christchurch shooter, everything he took and wrote in his manifesto, he did it as a troll. So, you know, and of course, the very first thing that comes to the forefront is, oh, I got to make it harder for guns. And I'm like, oh, this shit happened in a gun-free zone. Everybody's like, oh, no, Texas open carry state. That might be the case, but there's still gun-free zones in Texas where you can carry everywhere but here. Yeah, he was of age. And it's like, number one, what sickness are people falling under in this country to consistently do this stuff? Everybody wants to blame Trump, but it goes deeper than Trump, because Trump's not everybody. Oh, he's a racist. He's a racist. Look, I've been through a lot of his tweets, a lot of his. I have yet to take and hear anything he says is overtly racist. I have yet to hear anything that's subliminally racist from him. It's objectionable, some of it, and the way he comes across, but he's not. None of it's been actually racist. So I don't quite understand where people are coming from for that. And even taking a look at the Southern Poverty Law Center's hate map, there's 1,100. Well, see, that's another thing. People are like, oh, this is a false flag and blah, blah, blah. And there's conflicting eyewitness reports of it just being from one shooter to four shooters all dressed in black. So, I mean, you take that what you will. I'm not in the business of conspiracy theories. I can take and talk conspiracy theories if I want, because there's a whole lot of them, but I don't dwell too much in these false flag things, because a lot of them, people take and dress up as, oh, like Alex Jones, oh, Sandy Hook is a false flag. Motherfucker, there were people that buried their fucking kids. It is. And the thing about it is everybody wants to go, oh, it's a mental health issue. Well, let me ask you this question. What makes all this a mental health issue? I mean, everybody's got access to antidepressants. All you got to do is go to a fucking doctor. Go to a psychiatrist. So if it's the fact of, oh, it's a mental health issue, well, with all the mental health stuff that we have in this country, how is it these people are not getting the fucking help they deserve? And you can't take and go, oh, they didn't have insurance. Oh, they didn't have this, and taking and spin it to another political thing, because that's not it at all. Because you can set up payment plans with fucking doctors for the most part. It's not always a fucking case, but a lot of times you can set up payment plans. You can take and pay over fucking time, even if it's fucking $10 a month. There's doctors that'll do that type of stuff. So I don't think it's so much more of it's a mental health issue in this country, because if it were such a mental health issue, then they need to take a look back at, number one, how they diagnose mental health problems and how they take and medicate the mental health problems, because a lot of the people that have done stuff like this have been on medications and stuff like that. So either it either isn't effective, or something's got to take and give as far as that's concerned. I don't know, it makes you scratch your head when you see stuff like this happen. It just really does. It makes you go, and for this kid to take and go, oh yeah, I don't blame illegal immigrants, but you take and go to a border city for something like this to happen. Not only is it and here's the other thing, not only is it a border city, it's a liberal border city. It's from where Beto O'Rourke is from. I'll be honest with you. See, this is where you start walking that fine line of the Second Amendment rights to health of the people around. Because not everybody's going to fucking snap, but at the same point in time, it seems to be that seems to be the case so often, and people are like, oh, you got to take and have common sense gun control laws. Again, look at our gun control laws as it stands. There's certain weapons that you're not going to take. You can try to go buy it, and it's going to take you 2 or 3 days or more, depending on the state. Do you extend that timeline for every state? Extend it to say any gun you want to buy, 10 days. Is that going to solve the problem? No, that's just going to take and that's just going to take and move the date of what the fuck's going to happen. Is all that's going to take and do. And then the other part of the issue is, not only do you have to take a look at that, but you also have to take a look at at the other things that are in place. Like I said, all these shootings are happening in schools. You can't take and have a gun in school. You're not allowed to take guns in the schools. You're not allowed to take guns into Walmart. You're not allowed to take guns in the hospitals. You're not allowed to take guns in the malls. You're not allowed to take guns into most parks. So if it were simply a matter of common sense gun laws, well, we've got that covered for the most part. So how do you walk that fine line of allowing people to take and have a Second Amendment right to take and keep and bear arms, which is an essential part of our Constitution? Because once that goes, there goes our First Amendment, and I completely believe that. But nobody's going to take and put forth. It's either going to be we either need more stringent laws and they just tighten down the laws that we've already got in place, or they're going to take and go for, and people go, oh, assault weapon ban or semi-automatic ban. Well, if you take and go with a semi-automatic ban, there goes 3/4 of the guns that people buy in the country anyways. Because just about every gun you buy is semi-automatic. I don't give a shit if it's a shotgun, it's a pistol, it's a rifle. It doesn't matter what it is. At that point in time, you're relegating people to black powder and to bolt action. And that's not doing anybody any good. I don't, and see, that's just, what? Oh. And see, that's the thing either, because, but it's, society has changed. Society has changed, and people are like, oh, we need to progress forward. But to what end? Where to? Because it seems like the more we progress in things, the more we regress as a society almost. I just don't, I just feel for everybody that's there in El Paso that had to take and go through that, and those that are affected by it. It's just, you never want to see something like that happen. It's just awful. And people are like, oh, it's the norm. And it's not really the norm. And you can't really say it's a norm. Yeah, we had 300 mass shootings last year, but we've also got 360 million citizens in this country. We had 40,000 people die by car wreck and 38,000 people die by guns last year. So you can't say it's an epidemic. It's not an epidemic. That's a very small portion of a larger, country. It is changing in a bad way. The problem is a lot of people have no more respect for life, and we're starting to lose respect for each other as not only as humans, but just on a personal level, on the personal aspect level. It, it's it's scary to see because I've got kids that are teenagers and I've got kids that are young. Hello, baby doll. Go back to making you got your life video, baby doll. You can hear me. You ain't even got to take and watch the video. So, why does this keep going in and out? Stop. So I don't. It's just one of those things where I don't know if there's a real answer to all these problems like everybody seems to believe that there is. The issue may just be we need to take and start in a better manner of how to take and treat each other, of how to take and value human life. I don't know how we go about doing that because regardless, you're going to piss somebody off. So it's one of those things to where, and the other thing is people are going to take and blame, people that blame the white nationalism, and that is an issue, but it's not as big of an issue in this country as people make it out to be. There's idiots everywhere. There's going to be idiots. Like I said, there's 360 million citizens in this country. You're going to have wackadoos. I don't care what group you're looking at. You're going to have wackadoos. That's going to happen. And they're going to take and come from all walks of life. You take a look at Southern Poverty Law Center, and they've got 1,100 white supremacy groups that they've taken and ID'd in this country.
I'm talking in Daddy's live stream.
I said hush.
I want to have fun.
There's 1,100 white supremacy groups in this country. A vast majority of them reside in the Midwest and over on the west side of the country. So it's 360 million people. You've got 1,100 groups that are white supremacists. You got 500 black nationalist groups that are anti-America, anti-Israel, and are labeled as hate groups. You've got the religious organizations that are labeled as hate groups, and you've got, it's so. At what point in time do we distinguish? Do we not take and just look at the fact we have a hate problem in this country? And it's not as large as we might as it's made out to be. But then again, it's not so small that it's not making a direct impact on people's lives. It's, I don't know. I'm at a lot. The more I think on this, the more of a loss of words I seem to be. It's just, and you're right, Bottom Dollar. Every group has an extremist section. You take and look at people look alt-right or whatever, or far right, and they take and go straight to the Klan, and then you take a look at the left, and you got Antifa. Or depending on how you take and view things in history, yeah, PETA is, people, they're, for animal rights, and the problem with PETA is they take and kill more animals per year than at-kill shelters. So, they're not exactly, they're a bunch of jerk-offs. They're taking in, they're pulling the wool over people's eyes, and they're making money off of donations from people who actually care about animals. So it's, I think it's more of a matter of, at this point in time and going forward, how do we take and teach a generation that's coming up to take and not only respect themselves but respect others? And here's the other thing: stop demonizing people who disagree with you, because we can all disagree on something but still take and get along. That happens. That's life. That's adulthood. You're going to be an adult. As an adult, there are people you disagree with that you might not actually particularly like, but that you can get along with for the sake of taking and getting along, and you can treat them decently. You can treat them civilly. But it seems like nowadays in our society, if you disagree with somebody or you don't agree with their lifestyle or you don't take and agree with what they've said, well, you're automatically a bigot or a racist. And that's not the case all the time. That's not the case 9 times out of 10. It's I hear you. I have to look out for your next live stream. I've caught 1 or 2 of them. I haven't. I don't know, I've got a couple other things I've got going on too, but I don't know. This shit tonight, taking a reading about this and reading a lot of the articles and stuff on eyewitness accounts and there's so many rabbit holes that they can go into off all this stuff from people that are fucking wearing tinfoil hats. It's not even funny. But and I think that's the other part of the issue is the fact that it seems like we can no longer disagree. Either you have to have a certain opinion, and it's on both sides of the aisle. I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're a Democrat, even if you're a libertarian. You've got to take and have, if you don't have that viewpoint, either you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're an idiot, you're something derogatory if you do not agree with somebody. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who do you root for? I can't wait for the season to start. And it just, I don't know. And see, I think that's another part of it too, because a lot of times people don't. I don't know if it's the way the school systems are set up. I don't know if it's because people want to be right in their own mind, or what. I think people need to start looking at not only, everybody's, I've got my facts. I've got my fact. Oh, I'm sorry. Really, I say that, and we got our asses kicked last year, so I can't say too much. Better team. But I've got my facts. I know the point. But the problem is you haven't taken the time to take and go look at the reason why they have the opinion they do. And whenever you don't know the other side of the equation, or you don't know their part of the argument and why they have their facts or that they're bringing to their side of the table for their viewpoint, well, you can't have a discussion at that point. You can't really have a debate, because at that point in time, it's just you're taking, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, and that's not a debate. That's not a discussion. That's more along the lines of, I'm so pig-headed, I can't take and see your point of view. You're so pig-headed, I don't know what you're going to take and come to at. So I know the reason why I have my viewpoints, or I know the reason why I have my counter arguments to what you believe in. And the other thing is people that it's more than Facebook has created that. A lot of this started like low key in Bush's like last 3 years in office, and then it started ramping up whenever Obama was in office. Now it's reached almost fever pitch, and it's very troubling, because we can't have, people like, oh, we need to have open dialogue, but I don't think people understand what open dialogue is anymore. And that's so big of a part of the issue that, nobody's willing to take and look at, okay, you believe this, I believe this. But see, on that East Wind, I think it should be the parents and the local school boards, not the state or the federal government that takes and decides that. But people can't take and go, look, I believe this. I've looked at the reason why you believe that. And while we disagree, here's where we kind of take and line up as far as an agreement. So where can we go from here to take and build off of it? And there's just, it doesn't work like that. And it should take and work like that, because of we keep at each other's throats like this. I feel this nation is in a ideological civil war, and it's mainly being played out, at least from what I've seen. It's mainly being played out in Washington, and it's being played out in the academic world and in our news media. that starting it's done started trickling down. I mean, if it didn't trickle down, you wouldn't have groups like the Proud Boys. Group you wouldn't have groups like Antifa. It wouldn't happen. There'd be no room for stuff like that because well, see, East Wind. I mean, the whole changing the history of the country, that's been going on for 60 years in increments, and now it's just there's not enough people taking realize what's going on and taking fight against it. Is what it is. That's what a lot of it. That's what a lot of that amounts to, and that's one of the other problems is we don't teach actual. We teach biased points of view of what happened in history. We don't teach like going to the finer details of what happened during different stages of history. We just don't. It's this person bad, this person good, this is bad, this is, and we don't go into finer nuances of what happened, what caused that, when did it start, why did it start, why did it end, what led to its end, what took and led to this war, what led to this, this person being in power, and we don't go into any of that anymore, or our kids don't go into that anymore, and a lot of them they're not being encouraged to take and go find books. Like I've taken and read so many. When I was in school, I read so many biographies. I read the biography of Benjamin Franklin, of George Washington Carver. I read and see and you're right. And a lot of this, all of this is part of a broader picture. And the problem is finding how to take and get everything from this part of the picture down to everything comes right back here. So we have a jumping off point of agreement that we can kind of build off from. In our schools, so this is a whole, we're about to go down another rabbit hole that I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how many of y'all took and saw the live stream I had with Ronnie on my panel. Now, let's not get something let's not get it twisted. Okay, Ronnie was saying the U.S. is not great. I don't have that viewpoint. I think we're the greatest country that has ever lived. However, I don't believe we have the freedoms that we're told that we have anymore. It doesn't work like that. Not anymore. Between our taxation and the way things have gone and laws that have been passed, we're not free like we're told we're free. We have more freedoms than a lot of other countries. A lot of other countries. I mean, you can take and say something bad against a president and you're not killed. You're not murdered. You're not seen as a traitor. So we do have that freedom. However, we're not free anymore. And we do, so on that note, I'm going to say that. I'm going to take and say this. I believe, number one, we could take and change our children's education levels if we stop taking and spending $700 billion a year on national defense. Our defense budget is twice of China's. We could cut our budget from $700 billion a year to $350 billion a year and still spend more money for defense than any other industrialized nation in the world. And that would improve. We could put that money towards so much other stuff. We spend more money per capita per kid in every classroom than any other industrialized nation in the world, and we're in the mid-20s when it comes to the top 50 countries that are industrialized as far as our education levels at the grade levels. That's unacceptable. How is that the case? I mean, I don't know how many people seen it, but they had the school there in Pennsylvania that wasn't going to take the donation of the local businessman because so many kids had overdue lunch balance until pressure was put on them to do that. Number one, those kids shouldn't have to take and nobody should have to take and pay for their kids' lunch at school. Our tax money goes towards our kids' education. We have we have other taxes that we pay as far as sales tax and things of that nature that also go back into the school system. So why is it that the school systems don't have enough money to not only teach our kids, pay for the teachers for our kids, but also provide them lunch? They've got them for 8 fucking hours a day. That should not be an issue. That should be nowhere close to of the fucking issue. I just, the other thing is a lot of people disagree with the whole thing of free college. I'm gonna say this one right here. If it's a private institution, they should be able to charge whatever the fuck they want. If it's a state-run institution of higher learning, it should be free. Simple as that, because the state colleges get more money than what they even take and put into the public education system at the grade school level. Simple as that. You're from this state, you're wanting to take and go to a state-run college, what do you want to take and learn? Here you go. The only thing they should take and charge for is if people want to take and stay on campus. And even then, it shouldn't be a shit ton of money for the kids each year. Well, see, now it's after, if we take and pay our kids' lunch bill once a month, it's like $40. Like I said, I've got tax money my tax money goes to the education system. Part of our sales taxes go to the education system. There's no fucking reason why our kids should be paying for their lunches. There's no reason why parents should be having to send money with the kids to pay for the lunches. That's bullshit. Bullshit. Plain and simple. It shouldn't be a thing. And here I was thinking I was done with politics and shit. I guess I showed me, didn't I? But that's what I mean. That I guess this is what happens whenever you're so concerned about what the future is going to look like for your kids. It's hard to take in. It's hard to be like, you know what? I'm tired of politics. I'm not fuck politics. I'm not paying attention to this shit no more because I've tried that, but I can't do it because it's just what's happening now and what's going to be happening while my kids are growing up is going to affect what's going to be in the world as once they become adults, they reach the real world. And see, and exactly, Eastwind, and that's the other thing. Everybody pays into it, even people that don't have kids. Why can't all the kids that are in school not have free lunch? Why do you have to take and hit a certain threshold of how much money you make? Fuck that shit. You make more money from taxes, from bonds, from federal fucking grants, and from federal fucking loans every year than just about anything else in this country. The other thing is, I think one of the things that would help a lot of these school districts where shit like that happens at, that, these kids are taking and getting threatened, or the parents are getting threatened because they haven't paid the lunch, is these fucking teachers unions. Teachers are fucking needed, but the problem is they've got these shit ass teachers that are in the school system. They can get in trouble for having kiddie porn on their fucking computers, and while they're sitting in jail or while they're on administrative leave, they're still getting paid because they're in a fucking union. And that's horseshit. Simple as that. So if you're waiting trial because you got found with kiddie porn, or if you're in school, or if you're in prison because you got caught with kiddie porn, there's no fucking way in the world you should still be getting paid money. Just because you're in a fucking union. Fuck you. I hope that, it does it. I don't ever take and hope people get killed. But a motherfucker that takes and does that kind of shit, looks at that kind of shit, I hope bitches get shanked. Simple as that. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know, with the state of the world, the state of everything's in. Jesus Christ, dude. It's fucking highway robbery. One stoplight and no post office. Jesus. They looked at y'all and said, bend over. All right, we ain't using no lube. Fuck it. I hope it's a nice area at least. Fucking A. Whew. Goddamn. I don't know. It's like I said, I seen that shit, and it just we've broken down somewhere in this country. How do you get it back? You know, how do you get it back? So, like I said, I can't completely leave politics alone. Um, that being said, that being said, I do have a Facebook page. I've got a Twitter account, and I've got the YouTube account. And my goal is Monday to take and have up the first video for. I've got a. It's called Politically Incorrect News Network. It's going to be satire and dark humor for the political realm. But that's I've already on the Facebook. I've actually been putting out a couple stories here and there, just trying my hand at it. As far as a satire, like not the political dark humor, I'm trolling the shit out of people on both sides of the aisle on Twitter with that shit. You know what I'm gonna. It's and I hate and I apologize for going like this level, like buzzkill and shit like that. It's just, I don't know. Every so often you get a fucking hair that just kind of grind. You get a hair up your ass, as my mom used to say, and it just kind of it don't sit right with you. So it works its way in, and you just. Yeah, and the fact that you have to pay taxes on shit, and if you don't, they're going to come take it. It's a perfect example of how you don't actually own it. We're going to put a lien out on this shit. We're going to take and charge it. And we're going to take and put it up to property auction. Somebody can own it for a year. At least that's the way it works around here. Somebody can own it for a year. And if you finally pay the property taxes on it, you got to take and pay the rent on the motherfucker for a full year at a rate of $15 a fucking month. And if you don't take and pay it by the end of at the end of that year, well, then you lose the property, and you have to start paying either actual rent or get the fuck off that property. And so, yeah. Wait a minute, I thought we lived in a free country. It is. You are free. You're free to pay taxes to keep the shit. But yeah, I do have that channel, Politically Incorrect News Network. I did it so the acronym would spell out PUNN, just because it's going to be a bunch of dumb, humorous shit. Or at least that's the plan. Can't promise that it'll all be funny. I might have a sucky sense of humor. I don't know yet. We'll find out. But I got some clip art and some other things and some pictures and stuff. I'm gonna be making mouths move and them talk, and I'll take and do like a 2 or 3 time a week like news section where I'll take and put a twist on the current news and put in some fake news, and might actually have to take and actually look halfway decent, not look like a fucking bum like I do tonight. I don't know how this shit happened. Black magician, very powerful, but no evocation. Well, aren't you just all sorts of fucking loony? If Eastwind or Jeremy's here, kick that fucker off. That ain't even slightly funny. Fuck that. Damn cocksucking. Here, I'll do it my damn self. Remove. Fuck you. Yeah, I'm not joking either. Fuck off. Like, for real, fuck off. I mean, that kind of ignorance right there. Fuck you. That's it. That's the other thing. You got sick motherfuckers like that. I'm serious. No, I'm her. Black magician. Fucking retarded motherfucker. You want to take and go practice black magic, motherfucker? Go somewhere else with that dumb shit. I mean, I'm sure Hogwarts will have you. Just saying. You don't have to come over here and be like, boogie, 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 boogie. Damn right, Jacob. We all need lower taxes. Fuck paying all this shit. Yoda, you're a moderator now. That way, when dumbasses come through and if you see it, you can kick them the fuck out. And see, we went to war with the British over no taxation without representation. Yet they take and do so many different fucking taxes that we don't fucking know about. Hell, all of Obamacare was nothing but one big fucking tax. There were so many taxes hidden in that shit. And ain't nobody, not everybody took and voted on that. How do I block that motherfucker? Hide user. There we go. Now, talk about doing black magic and casting spells to the devil and shit like that to get motherfuckers to do these mass shootings. If I want to take and read retarded shit, I'd take and go read I'd go read something from fucking Antifa or the fucking Klan. You fucktard. Goddamn, get out your fucking mama's basement, get some goddamn sunlight, you fucking virtual vampire. That's the type of shit right there I don't fucking care for. I ain't gonna fucking stand for that. Fuck that. They can make light of situations like that. Unless your name's fucking David Chappelle or fucking Bill Burr or something, keep your fucking mouth shut. Goddamn. Exactly. Somehow the troll found, I've got 11 viewers. I've only got one person, or I've got 4 people talking. One of them was that Ben Clark. Hopefully he doesn't have multiple accounts because not in the mood for all that shit tonight. Y'all want to take and see somebody go redneck, huh? Damn it. Y'all will see the redneck come right the fuck out of me tonight. I'm going to go grab me a beer and I'll come back. We'll take and chit chat some more. Jeremy, I'm surprised you ain't over there with the other fellas, man. I'm surprised you ain't hanging out with drunken one of them. Oh no, those were shorts. Yeah. This right here is the Next Coast IPA by Goose Island. The description on this: tropical juicy hops. Nice. You smell mango and papaya, but it's very sedated. Like if they give you that milk of amnesia before you have a surgery, it's that kind of sedated. Exactly, Jacob. Sedated. This doesn't really have a really big flavor profile to it. I mean, you taste a little bit of grapefruit, and a little bit of papaya, and a little bit of tangerine, but You get a bit of bitterness on the back end, and that's about it. I mean, it's refreshing. So, I mean, it's not a bad beer, but like scale of 1 to 5, I take and give this a 3.25. I mean, it's not great. It doesn't have really big bursting flavors or nothing like that. It's not bad by any means, but it's just kind of like I said. I don't know how many of y'all have had a. Appreciate you stopping by, Eastwind. You have a good night too, buddy. I guess one of these days I'll wind up doing one of those StreamYard streams, taking having a panel. But I think, and I actually ain't gonna take and have a panel. I think we'll take and start having streams with just like one other person, and we just riff off of each other. Just sit there and talk, have some fun, drink some beer. I think that's when we'll start doing shit from now on. I like the whole concept of StreamYard and everything like that. I enjoyed the panels, but I think having like even like 6 people is too much at one time because you still have a tendency of 1 or 2 people over talking others. I don't know. That's just the way I think I'm gonna start doing things. Either I'm gonna take and do live streams like this and just take a riff off of what y'all are saying and talk back and forth with y'all, or I'm gonna take and have one other person on with me and we take and talk, shoot the shit. Maybe have one other person in the basement, take and switch them out here or there with somebody else. I don't know. Every so often, yeah, at most 4, and I'm of the opinion that like 4 is like pushing it. And honestly, I think for this channel, I'm probably just gonna take and be doing just me for my live streams from now on. Whether it be my gaming or the beer videos or the beer streams like this, where I just take and have topics and just basically talk with y'all in the chat and stuff like that. After I get off whatever's on the top of my head, after I get it out. And for my other channel, I'm gonna have Ronnie. Yeah, dude, it was pandemonium. If you had somebody like, fucking Drewski on with the other 10, it was way too much. But in which I need to take, I need to take and figure out what Drewski's doing and take and check on him. I ain't heard from him in a bit. Maybe have him, just me and him on one of these things. But I think I'm gonna take and get a hold of Ronnie and since Ronnie likes talking political stuff on my other channel, this for the political dark humor and the satire stuff like that. Take and have a night or two here and there where it's just me and him riffing off of each other, talking politics and stuff. I tell you, I'm really looking forward to the college football season coming up, man. It can't come quick enough. They took and had that Hall of Fame game the other night. I didn't even take and watch it. First Hall of Fame game, NFL preseason, my opinion, not really worth watching. I'm also ready for the local high school team to take and start their season. I know they start later. I think in like 3 weeks they have their first game, and I'm gonna try to take and make it as many of them as possible this year. My nephew is on the team this year, so. But I'm waiting to see how Alabama can roll this year. We took and lost a good bit of our defense, and we got back all of our wide receivers. We got Tagovailoa back. We got basically all of our offensive line, but like 2 people, and everybody else that did come back was rotation pieces. But we've also got a couple of like 5-star offensive linemen. What, Bama? Yeah, probably so. I tell you, I was listening to a segment on the Paul Feinbaum show the other night, and he was talking about Clemson being better than Alabama, and I have to agree with him because we got our asses handed to us in that damn title game. Right? It just ain't no 2 ways about that. Y'all got Chad Morris as your coach, right, Jeremy? I mean, he's always had pretty decent offenses. I mean, wasn't he at SMU before he took and come up to y'all? I mean, let me see here. I could have swore Chad Morris was, because I know he was. Let's see. Yeah, he was with SMU before he come to y'all as a head coach. He didn't have that great of a record, but he always had pretty good offenses and stuff like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Because he was the offensive coordinator for Clemson before he took and started there. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Bottom dollar. Jacob ill annoys. Yeah, being ill annoys me too. Yeah, he was a big part of Dabo turning it around whenever he first started as the head coach there. I tell you, I don't. SMU doesn't really take and get the best recruits, so I think that's probably part of the reason why he didn't take and do so well coaching record wise. But he's got better access to recruits there at Arkansas, because all he has to do is take and steal a couple decent three star and one or two 4-star or half a dozen 4-stars from that are either in state or from Texas or from Oklahoma or another bordering state or something like that. That's beginnings of a good team right there. Bama, Clemson, Georgia. Let's see. I tell you, I think Georgia might have a bit of a. I don't know. I think Georgia might have a bit of a downturn this year, like one more loss than what they had last year. Not a great, it's not a big downturn. They lost a lot of talent. But I think that here's what gets me. I live in South Carolina. Wife's a Carolina fan. One of our friends is a Carolina fan, but he's like delusional type Carolina fan, like out there. Where the fuck do you wackadoos come from? Like fucking for real, dude. Where the fuck do y'all take and come out? What rock do you take and crawl from up underneath? Like seriously, that rock can't just take a rock back and fucking fall back on you and crush your fucking retarded ass? Thank you, Yoda. And see, Jeremy, I think you take and give him 3 years. I think he'll have y'all back competing in the West. At least beating LSU. Taking and beating LSU, beating Texas A&M, competing against Bama. Taking and giving us a hard time and beating Mississippi State and stuff like that. That's the other thing. I don't know nothing about Mississippi State's head coach. I haven't really looked too much into him or where he was from or where he come from or if he just basically got promoted up or anything like that. So I'm looking at that fucker's name. Looks like it'd be Jehovah Ben. Got the whirly birds out tonight. Got the squirrely ones. Woohoo! That's what gets me. I don't know. Yeah, I know it's the same dude. He's probably got like 400 accounts. So give it about 5 seconds. That motherfucker will be right back. I promise you. He's going into his account right now on his YouTube screen going, let me take and sign into this one real quick. Let me just switch up. Let me find that fucker again. That's exactly what the fuck he's doing. But yeah, I don't know much about Mississippi State's head coach. I know he inherited a damn good team because Dan Mullen was a hell of a fucking recruiter and a hell of a coach. He didn't take and win the SEC or nothing like that, but at the same point in time, he did a lot more with the Mississippi State than what I think most people have done before him. I think Auburn. Be honest with you, I think this is a make or break year for Gus Malzahn, and I hope he breaks. And just because I'm still butt hurt over that 105-yard touchdown return. I love it. I tell you what, I was trying to talk NFL the other night, and I love my NFL because I love doing the fantasy football, but I love me some NCAA. Absolutely love doing NCAA football or watching NCAA football. I grew up on it. I remember back when Bama took and won who? Gus Malzahn? Yeah, he's lucky, but he's lucky at the most unopportune times. That's the reason I don't care for him. He must have Jehovah Ben taking and casting his spells on him to take and give him that luck or something. Fucking voodoo dolls and shit like that. But no, I forgot what I was about to say. Damn, I hate when that happens. You have a well thought out thing that you're about to say, and it's all of a sudden, blah, 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 it's gone. It's no longer him. Yeah, I will say this about Carolina. Carolina has a hell of a schedule this year. If they take and get out only losing 5 games, they're doing something good. But I have a feeling, and here's my issue with Carolina. All these people are like, oh, Muschamp. Here's my problem, Muschamp. Muschamp was at Florida and had top 10 recruiting classes all 4 years he was head coach there. And he never took and had a great fucking season as the head coach of Florida. It just didn't happen. They could never find an offense. And everybody's, oh, Jake Bentley's such a great quarterback. Well, he doesn't fucking show it all the time. He's not as consistent as he should be to be that. Thank you, YouTube administrator. Yeah, he just, and that's my thing, and that's been my thing to like fans that I take and run across. I'm like, dude, look, it's the problem isn't so much your talent level at Carolina, it's your coach. He doesn't know how to take and coach up talent. Y'all can take and have the most talented people in the world, but if you can't fucking do that, you know, that's going to be the issue, and that is the issue because he couldn't get shit done at Florida. Damn, Tennessee, I think, is going to take and be surprising people this year. I don't think they're going to take and blow the doors off, but I think they're going to take and win some games that they're not supposed to this year. Their head coach took and has had 2 great recruiting seasons. He didn't have a whole lot there, so he's still trying to build depth. But I think they're going to surprise some folks in the East. I think Kentucky's going to take a fucking step back, though, just for the simple fact of the matter of. And I think they're just going to take a step back on offense. I don't think so much on defense. And see, that's the other thing. Like a lot of the Carolina fans, like, oh my God, Feaster. You've got one player that's won a national championship for another team on your team. Chill out. That's all I'm saying. He'll help your run game if your offensive line can not look like Swiss cheese this year. Slow down there, Sparky. But yeah, looking at the top, it's funny because yeah, big if. Looking at the top 10, I mean, you take a look at some of the teams that are like Ohio State. Why the fuck is Ohio State ranked as highly as they are? They lost a lot of people on their offense and defense to the NFL, and they've got an unproven head coach. I understand, they've got a head coach that I just don't think. Well, see, the thing about it is, Jeremy, I think y'all's biggest problem, I think the biggest thing for Kentucky is their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games this year. I still think they're going to probably take and lose 2 more games than what they did last year, though. It's just they don't have the same. When you lose players like Benny Snell and you take and lose, people along the defensive line and shit like that, you're not able to take and keep up that same high level. Now, granted, Mark Stoops has improved the recruiting. They took and got 2 5-stars this year. That's not something. That's something you see with Kentucky basketball. Like you see them taking. Oh look, they got all 7. They got 7 5-stars for the basketball team. They're gonna do fucking awesome for this year because ain't none of them fuckers gonna be back next year. Gonna be one and dones. So for their football team, they can get like 2 5-stars, and they got like 10 or 12, 10 4-stars. The rest are like, high level 3-stars. That's saying something for the recruiting there at Kentucky, because that just didn't happen before, and it really didn't. So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to take and see how the East plays out, because I think Georgia's going to be a little down this year. I don't think it'll be down a whole lot. I still think unless Florida, like under Mullen, shows like a big time like up there improvement, I don't think they're going to take Georgia down. But I think next year Georgia and Florida are going to be the top 2 in the East, and I think Tennessee is going to be right back there, 3 or 4 next year. I think this year maybe Tennessee might wind up number 4. But looking at the top 10, like Ohio State, why the fuck are they ranked so high? Michigan is perennially overranked since since Harbaugh's been there. What has he done? They're going to lose 4 games, and we're going to put them in the top 10 again this year. I mean, like, they can't even take and beat Ohio State, for God's sakes. I think so, too. I think they took and finally got some they got some stability and everything there at Tennessee. I think Texas, too. Texas is another team. I think they're ranked like number 5. See, Ole Miss, bro, I'm going to tell you what, wow, y'all were that bad last year? I didn't realize y'all lost to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is, you want to talk about a dumpster fire? That's Ole Miss. Actually, you want to talk about dumpster fire? That's kind of like Missouri. And it's not because of Missouri's football team, because, Gary Pinkel resigned, he took and stepped down or retired or whatever with health and shit like that. But that whole school has seen like a 40% drop in their fucking enrollment rate since the scandal they had there a couple years ago with the whole race thing and everything like that. I mean, they've seen a massive decline in fucking enrollment. But that's another team. People are like, oh yeah, Missouri could surprise people this year. They've got Kelly Bryant. The fucker can't throw. Like, he runs a lot. Like, he reminds me in 2 years at Clemson of the first year of Jalen Hurts. He's not accurate. To take and have success at a place like Missouri, where they've got great playmakers at wide receiver and tight end, you got to have somebody that can hit them wide open. And Kelly Bryant can't do that. That's the reason why Trevor Lawrence took over as a true freshman. The reason, and see, that's the other thing. Like, Oklahoma, I think, is ranked like number 3 or number 4. Oklahoma, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people that are fans of Alabama are pissed off that Jalen Hurts didn't take and stay and back up Tua. My question is, why would he do that? He took and did that last year after losing his job to Tua in training camp. He's got nothing else to prove. He's 26-2 as a starter at Bama. I wish him all the luck in the world unless he plays Alabama. Then I hope we beat them like a drum. Like, I'm hoping we beat them like a Lars Ulrich drum. Hard. So, but I have utmost respect for Jalen Hurts, because he did what a team player should do. Last year, he had been 26-2 as a starter. He sat behind Tua the whole year. He played mop up in games in the second half for like a quarter and a half before they brought in Mac Jones, and then he took and come in the second half of the national title game against Clemson, and he did what he was supposed to do as a teammate. He supported his team. He supported the players. So you can't fault the man for taking and looking for a better opportunity as last year, so he has a shot next year in the NFL. You just can't. And the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners have come from Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley knows what he's doing as far as the quarterbacks, as far as that system is concerned. I think that system is a better fit for him than what Alabama is right now. I don't blame him one bit. But utmost respect for him. I think Oklahoma, due to Lincoln Riley and the recruiting that he does, I could see them taking and being in the national championship race again this year, and they lost a lot of folks on the offense and on the defense. So I mean, because they lost their top 2 wide receivers. Yeah, and you're right. And see, that's where and I think Bryant, I don't think he's going to take and get a whole lot better as a passer. You could see last year in the mop-up duty that he did, where Jalen Hurts had been improving some as a passer, and I think going to Oklahoma is only going to take and help that. I'm completely fucking down, Jeremy. I tell you what, bottom dollar, if you want to take and join in on this, Jeremy, like maybe on like Thursday nights or something like that, we'll take and start at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock or something like that and go for an hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that. Talk about the games that impress us the most and what the fuck we think about the shit that's coming up in the coming week. And we can take and rotate whose channels we take and do it on too. I'm down for that. Like, I'm down like 4 flats. But yeah, I think this year, and I'll be honest with you, I think Bama's might be a little bit down this year, and it's just because we lost so much on the defense. We got a lot of rotation players, but you know, I think our offense is going to carry the defense for at least, you know, first 2 SEC games of the season. Can we make Carolina one of those teams that's like Voldemort? You know, we just don't name it. We'll do that. We'll take and do Bama, Clemson, Arkansas, and then we'll have like Carolina and Auburn as like Voldemort. We just don't name them. The teams who we will not name. Coot Verity. Coot Versity. Yeah, there we go. I'm down with that. Yeah, I'm about to take it off of here too, Jeremy. I'm about to take and spend some time with the wife before we put the other one down.
I don't
And
like you like that.
I don't know if y'all heard that, but she just said she don't like me like that. So I don't know. Apparently, she wants me to hang out with y'all fuckers all night or something. But no, I'm gonna. I'll take and. I don't know how you add people on here, but I'll have to add your bottom dollar as like friend or whatever, and there we go. Add you as a moderator too. Cheers, Jeremy. I'll get up with you, and yeah, we'll have to take and work this out. Like leading up to the first games of the week, we can take and do one. Like I said, we can even take and do it rotate between our 3 channels or something like that. I haven't either. People have sent me like friends requests on here, like in like my normal hangout group and stuff like that. But past that, I don't know how that works. I have to take and figure that out. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here. Cheers, everybody, and appreciate everybody that took and participated in chat and stuck by for the depressing shit that I was talking about earlier. And
What's the person?
remember, drink beer, play games, have fun. Peace out.